Hey there, pandas, and welcome back to Story Time. Today we will be reading Pete the Cat Out of This World, and we will be on the lookout for words that start with the letter O. We have out, of, on, hour. Here we go. Please tell me the parts of the book. What's this? That's right. Front cover. What about this? Back cover. Good. This is the spine and title page. Good job. What does the author do? Writes the words. Good. And the illustrator draws the pictures. Excellent. This is by James Dean. All right, I think I'm gonna move our little Pete the Cat over here. Maybe he'll sit right here. He sit right there in his rocket ship, and he is ready to blast off. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Let's move this over a tiny, tiny bit. Here we go. Pete the Cat, out of this world. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move him back. I think he fits better right there. What do you think? Thumbs up. There we go. All right, he's on his galactic rocket ship, and here we go. There, I just want to make sure you can see everything. Pete the Cat out of this world. What was that? Oh, on the back cover? Yeah, sometimes the back cover does tell you a little bit about the story. Would you like me to read it? Okay, it says 5, 4, 3, 2, fun. Lift off. Off. O-F-F. We can add that to our vocabulary word. I'm so glad you guys suggested reading the back cover off. O-F-F. Yes, just like in calendar time, right? We talked about Olive and Oscar. They were turning the light off and on, off and on. So there we go, another vocabulary word. Lift off with Pete the Cat as he heads to space camp. Pete floats in zero gravity, flies to the moon, and even plays a groovy interstellar song for his fellow catstronauts. That's what they're called, catstronauts. So silly. Adventure abounds when Pete takes a trip that's out of this world. Okay, let's begin. Pete the Cat out of this world. It's a great day. Pete the Cat is going to space camp. Yes, he's so excited. Pete meets his bunkmate Glenn. As they unpack, there is an announcement.
Welcome, space campers. Please head to the classroom. Your mission begins now.
Time to suit up, says Pete. He and Glenn put on their uniforms and race to class. Remember, anytime you hear a word that starts with O, show that panda paw. There are so many cool things to do and super neat stuff to see. Astronauts Tom and Chris talk about the trips they've taken, and they give a sneak peek at future space trips. Mars, Earth, Sun. It would be totally rad to go to space, says Pete. The campers find out what it feels like to be an astronaut. They go in the zero-gravity chamber. They ride in rovers. They even build rockets. Pete Rocket flies very, very far. Way to go, Pete, shouts Glenn. Next stop is Mission Control. We have some exciting news, says Tom. Our next flight leaves today. We're going to the moon, and we have room for more. What? Cat Mission Control, Cat Space Program, Cat meow, 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 Cat. They're all wearing name tags. This is Tom, Pete, Glenn, Sandy, Chris. This is the countdown. Yes, numbers, right? See the numbers up there? It says hours, minutes, and seconds. Pete, do you want to go? Asked Sally. That would be awesome, says Pete. It's time to buckle up and settle into the space capsule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Counting. Lots of counting goes on. Lots of numbers and math and science. Yes, and in space, liftoff. Look at that. There's the rocket ship going in the air. Their ship speeds through space. They blast past a satellite and even a comet. Super cool. Tom and Sally have a rockin' surprise for Pete. His guitar. They brought his guitar on the trip. He plays a groovy interstellar song for them. Mission Control listens in. In no time at all, they arrive on the moon. They are ready to explore. The astronauts collect rocks and map out the moon's surface. Yep, there's their space rocks. Their moon rocks. Pete has a very important job to do. He straps on a jetpack and heads toward Mars. He takes tons of pictures. Oh no, Pete lost track of time. And the moon is far, far away. He has to make it back to the ship before it blasts off. Pete made it back in the nick of time. The astronauts head home, and there's time for a few more tunes. Pete sure knows how to make an entrance. They landed back on Earth. Pete's trip to outer, another word we can add, to outer space was out of this world. Still, he's psyched to have his feet back on solid ground. Rocket on, Pete. That is so cool. So we discovered, thank you, Pete. We can blast off. There we go. We can add the word outer. O-U-T-E-R. There's another word that was in the story that starts with the letter O, and we'll underline it here. Okay, so pandas, let's count how many words that were in the story that started with the letter O. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many? 6. 6 different words started with the letter O. Now let's talk about setting. Where did this story take place? Yes, on Earth and at space camp. And where else? In outer space. So there are different settings for this story, right? Because Pete is traveling. He's going to different places in different areas. And that's the setting where the story takes place. What about the characters? We have Pete the cat. Yeah, and he goes with some buddies. So here are more characters. Sally and Glenn. And then there was another one that has Tom and Chris that are running this space camp. So those are all the different characters in the story. Remember, we talked about the main character being Pete, because that's what the story usually focuses on, Pete and what he's doing in his adventures. And the other guys are supporting characters. They're in the story. Alrighty, so we talked about characters, we talked about setting, author, illustrator, parts of the book. We looked for the letter O. Yes, you guys are amazing. You have worked so hard, and thank you so much for listening and learning along with us today. Make it a great day, pandas. See you soon.